Hey, so what up, Fight World? What up, party people? What up, YouTube? It's your boy D Dynamite coming at you with a boxing review. So, I want to do a real review. I came at you yesterday with another review about Stavern versus Wilder, but I wasn't too pleased with it. I kind of did it on the fly. I was real tired. I was looking to get some pussy, so I was kind of rushing. But I'm back, I'm here, and I'm ready to go ahead and give you a full review, something that you could be happy with, people. So let me tell you guys what I thought about Wilder. Well, initially what I thought about Wilder was I knew he carried a lot of power, and of course he did going into this fight, but I thought he was very clumsy on his feet. I thought he was kind of slow, and I thought he was a little goofy too. So, I mean, he definitely came into this fight and proved all my preconceived notions. He threw those shits all out the motherfucking window. So shout outs to him for that. So let me talk about what Wilder did well. And he also did some shit that was wrong too. So we're gonna talk about that as well. And we're gonna talk about Stavern. So let me start with Wilder. In general, I think it was very obvious that Wilder utilized his jab to the fullest. He was pumping it, he was sticking it out there, he pawed it out there a little bit. He kind of showed you the different levels of jabs. Very old school, something that's somewhat of a lost art these days. Wilder made you feel like you were in the 1970s, 1980s, fighting all over again. It was definitely a thing of beauty. Definitely something that the youngsters these days don't use. They don't use that jab. They don't use it correctly. So I thought Wilder did a real good job utilizing that jab. Another thing too, man, Wilder has a really terrific coach. Mark Breland, man, dude is solid. I don't know if you ever had a chance to watch his fights, but you should definitely YouTube that, man. He used to kick some ass. In any case, man, so Wilder did a very good job utilizing that jab, and I think that much is very, very obvious. But aside from the jab, he did a good job moving on his feet. Now, for heavyweights, you see a lot of heavyweights, they move like their feet are stuck in mud. Of course, there are a few exceptions to this rule. Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, and Deontay Wilder. He has pretty good foot movement. He was getting in and out of the way like how you should when you're trying to fight defensively. He did a really good job of that, man. I gotta say, he really impressed me with his movement. Wilder was swaying in and out of the way, sticking, moving out, using angles, things that you would think heavyweights really wouldn't do. I think normally when people think of heavyweights, you get this visual of people just knocking each other the fuck out and having some sort of rock'em sock'em robot fight. At least that's the visual I get. I don't know about you guys. In any case, man, so he was definitely using the movement, using the jab. But a thing that surprised the shit out of me was Wilder at certain spots in the fight decided to fight on the inside. On the inside, right, people? Yeah, I didn't understand the shit either, but it actually happened. Wilder was fighting on the inside for a few moments, man. I saw him lower his head, put his guard up, and it looked like he was doing some inside fighting. Caught Stavern with a few shots on the inside. I don't think a lot of people picked that up, but it definitely happened. In any case, man, he definitely surprised me with that. So another plus for Wilder. Wilder also, man, the main thing that I had thought about Wilder in general was, here's the thing. Wilder made it all the way to the Olympics as a bronze medalist. And here's the thing about the Olympics. There's no way for you as a boxer to make it that far into amateur boxing without being a solid boxer. So in my head, I already knew this dude had to be a pretty good boxer. But my only problem with him, or my only fault with him in general, was the fact that, when he felt like he got you hurt, he would come in all reckless like swinging, and for somebody like Stavern that loves to counterpunch, he would easily be able to catch him while he was being wild. Wilder being wild, get it? Haha. In any case, man, so that was the reason why I thought he would actually lose the fight. But I knew that Wilder had all the advantages that it would take in order for him to win the fight. I just thought he would get caught clean trying to be reckless. But he definitely learned from his mistakes, I'm guessing, in the past, and he came in with the mindset of going on 12 rounds and not just trying to get this guy out of there in a few seconds. You did see that in a few rounds during the fight, he did get a little bit reckless, got caught with a few shots, and ended up backing off. So I think it's just lucky for him that he didn't get caught with a shot big enough to knock his ass out. In any case, man, still we're still talking about the good, so let's talk about the good. But in any case, man, that's the good things for Wilder. I also addressed the bad thing too, man. Good things must burn, because I don't think anybody else is gonna address it. You know, as a boxer, losing a fight is probably one of the worst things that can ever happen to you. It's not like any other sport, like when you lose a fight or you lose a game in basketball, or when you lose a game in football. You know, you just take the L. And then you just kind of go to fuck home, go to your big ass house, and you just kind of just, whatever. But as a fighter, when you lose a fight, it's kind of embarrassing, man. You know, you can't really face your family and friends the same, because they look at you like, man, you just got your ass whooped. And that's exactly what happened to Mr. Burn. He went home and his people looked at him and they were like, man, you got your ass whooped. But in any case, man, let's talk about what Mr. Burn did good. What he did good, I thought, in general, is he showed Deontay Wilder in general that he was a tough dude. He was coming to win the fight. He didn't come to bullshit. You could see that from the very beginning of the fight that Stiverne was determined to carry out his game plan, whatever it was, and get what he needed to get done and retain his WBC heavyweight title. So, as a result, he went ahead and he proceeded to go ahead and jab to the body. Now, when you're fighting a taller fighter, the best way for you to go is to throw all your punches, everything you got, towards the body. Why? Because you can't get to their chin. You can't get to their chin because you can't reach their chin because your arms are too short. Your main goal should be to get on the inside, and when you get on the inside, to get to the body. Unfortunately, this plan did not work for Stiverne, because he just didn't have the right idea. Let's just face it. I take that back. He did have the right idea, but he didn't have the right way of going about it. What I saw Stiverne doing was trying to jab to the body, which was great, but in order to be able to jab to the body, you have to cut the ring off at some point. Stiverne did a terrible job at trying to cut the ring off and allow Wilder to move around the ring as he pleased. Of course, that long 83-inch reach jab probably had a lot to do with it, because wherever you are in that ring, you still can get popped with that damn jab. That was a big advantage for Wilder. In any case, man, Stiverne did a good job by starting to implement that plan by jabbing to the body. He actually created a few opportunities where he actually did get on the inside, caught Wilder with a few shots. So I thought that was pretty cool of Stiverne to go ahead and do. Only thing is, he wasn't consistent with it, which brings me to the bad part of it. Not only was he not consistent with his punches to the body, but he also didn't cut off the ring, like I had mentioned earlier. When you're fighting someone that's that much taller than you, your only real way for you to go is for you to cut the ring off. You can't allow them to use their reach. You can't allow them to use the ring to move around you as freely as possible. That's the one thing you don't want. So, in order to avoid that, your best friend as a shorter fighter is to cut the ring off. Give this person no room to move around the ring to use his reach, get on the inside so that he can't use those long arms. So Stiverne did not do this. But here's the thing, Stiverne's not that type of fighter. When you've been fighting one way your entire life, it's hard to change. Even if he did prepare for this fight, fighting on the inside, how can he just go ahead and start fighting on the inside in one fight? It's not very easy, man. It's not very easy to take. Obviously there's a Klitschko fight out there, but that's probably a little too premature for him. So we have to look elsewhere, and that's where you guys come in. So what do you guys think, man? Well, who do you think Wilder should fight next? Hit me up, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. In any case, man, that's all I got to say. It's your boy D Dynamite signing out. You can go ahead and hit me on Facebook at DDino, Instagram at DDynamite. You can go ahead and get me on Twitter, that's Box, capital X, or capital X die. You can also hit me up on my website, boxordie.com. That's box minus or minus die.com. Holla at your motherfucking boy. Subscribe or I'm a motherfucking headbutt you in your motherfucking shit.